everybody, guess who's back? Safi and Marco dish on the movies, TV shows, books, and anything else we want to think about. Okay, well, guess what? I'm reviewing season 4 of Lucifer today, which is on Netflix. Now, I want to make sure that D.B. Woodside, who plays Amenadiel, and Amy Garcia, who plays Ella, this review is for you. I promised you on Twitter that I was going to do that, and here goes. Since Lucifer, the Fox TV show, premiered a few years ago, I have been a big fan and watched every episode until late in season 3. Then I began to hear the rumors. Fox wanted to cancel the show. Dismayed, I became frustrated. Why? It seems everyone liked the show. Good characters, interesting basic stories. Why would they get rid of it? With a setting like L.A. and Tom Mison as Lucifer, right in the middle of it, and all the rest of the interesting and talented characters who make up the show? Then rumors turned into reality. Fox canceled it. I became angry and just stopped watching it, even though there were 2 to 3 episodes left to go in the season. After I stopped seething, I said to myself, I'll watch those remaining episodes later. However, thanks to all those supporters' angry voices who loved the show, Netflix took it over. For this review podcast, Marco asked me to watch season 4 and whatever else I didn't see from the previous season. Then I could review it. Since I started writing this review, there has been news. Netflix has renewed Lucifer for a season 5, but it will be its last. I also want to thank Netflix for making something people really wanted to see. Now, on to the review. What I did was watch the entire new season 4 first. I had already heard 2 primary characters from the show had been killed off in season 3, but did not know who they were until it was revealed right away at the top of season 4. Spoiler alert from season 3. Marcus shot Charlotte by mistake, and then Lucifer killed Marcus. By then, everyone found out Marcus was the famous killer, the Sinner Man. Also, Detective Chloe finally saw Lucifer in his devil face. Remember, this whole time, whenever he said, I'm the devil, I've never lied to you, and he could get information out of people by asking them what they desire, what they really desire, he always got really good information. It usually actually cleared somebody who was accused of doing something wrong. But she always just accepted it, but didn't know why he could do it. And she never took him seriously, but now she does. Because as a result, all of this, the death of Charlotte and the Sinner Man, this affected every character in the show in a mostly devastating and negative way. But there were a few of the characters who were impacted, but they went on, and things happened that were really good for them. But how it impacted each character is laid out in detail in season 4, which I thoroughly enjoyed. For example, and I'll just give a few of them, Ella, the police department's forensic investigator, is smart and always bright and cheerful and very religiously faithful. However, she temporarily loses her faith and seems lost about her feelings towards God and just about everything else. It seems like she thinks God has let her down, that she was stupid to have been misled. Also, Dan is hurt and angry, especially at Lucifer, and does something unethical, which reminded me of season 1. Remember, at the end of season 1, he confessed to doing another bad thing and had to go to jail. But at the beginning of season 2, he got out. For some reason I never understood, but that's okay. And at the end of season 3, Chloe, who I mentioned, saw Lucifer's devil face, finally. No matter what she said, it bothered her. It frightened her to the point of inviting the bad guy into the picture in season 4. Chloe was so upset, she just about betrayed Lucifer, but changed her mind. Maze, Amenendiel, and Linda also go through changes, but these are positive. Actually, they all end up in a positive way, but they're in a good things are happening to them the entire time, for the most part. I'm glad to see they changed Maze's trajectory back to her old self, because her bad behavior in season 3 really upset me, especially when she acted mean to Chloe and Dan's daughter Trixie. I hated that. By the way, Trixie isn't in this season much, but I like it when she shows up because her part adds a little more realism to the show. 2 characters are added to season 4. Eve, from Adam and Eve, shows up in LA on an airplane and becomes part of a crime scene. Lucifer meets up with her accidentally, and she is in almost all of the episodes in season 4. Her real name is Enbar Lavi, and she's from Israel. How she escaped from heaven and is down here on earth was something I didn't understand. I'm unsure if it was fully explained. She is also young and pretty, which is also weird considering how old she is. But this is Lucifer after all, so everything mystical cannot be perfectly explained. The other character is Father Kinley, played by Graham James McTavish, who becomes 2 people. He is the bad guy I was talking about. And when he gets killed in season 4, and I won't say who kills him, but it's not Lucifer. A bad guy escapes from hell due to something else that happens and inhabits Father Kinley's body. It sounds a little discombobulated, but I don't want to give it all away. And finally, Lucifer undergoes several changes. He becomes more devil-like in more ways than one, because he killed the Sinner Man, and he only likes to punish, not kill. So this went against his whole being, and the change had massive repercussions. I don't want to say anything else because this is too good of a season to miss. The part with Eve showing up and contributing to Lucifer's bad behaviors irritated me, but it all works out. Please, if you are a fan of the show, don't miss season 4. It is excellent. And by the way, I finally watched those last few episodes of season 3. After that momentous event of Sinnerman and Charlotte getting killed, they ended this season in a what-if episode for all the characters. What I mean is, what if the characters had chosen a different path, one that didn't lead them to the good people they are today? As a result, I felt flabbergasted as to why the writers decided to do this since it was the last episode. What were they thinking? But for season 4, Netflix only gave Lucifer half of the episodes they usually make, and the writers really did an excellent job of creating a very well put together season of Lucifer. And in case that was all Netflix would give them, they could have ended this series forever with the last episode. Even though it wouldn't have pleased everybody, it still could have ended that way. And I won't say what I mean by that. So, because I really, really love this season, I will give it a really good steak with a baked potato and steamed broccoli and a piece of peach pie with ice cream on top. And that's pretty good for me because I don't eat much. And but that is really the best thing I could give it because it was so good. So I hope you like this review, Amy and DB.
What do the different elements represent? What's the
Oh.
steak?
Well, I guess the steak would be the season as a whole, and the baked potato and the steamed broccoli are the characters and the changes they go through. And the peach pie with ice cream on top is
Eve.
no. I really, like I said, Eve kind of irritated me because I didn't understand how she got there, and maybe I missed it because sometimes when they say something, it's subtle, and I just made I have a lot of responsibilities and things to do, and maybe I just missed it. But if it was explained, it sure wasn't explained in a lot of detail. So, but that doesn't matter. It ends up okay. Everything ends up righted, and like I said, everybody's been kind of wounded and impacted by those deaths. And I think finding out the chief of police, for some of them who didn't know about him, like uh, Ella, the forensic investigator, it was really disheartening. And because he was not just a killer, he'd been out a long time. People been after him for a long time. He would be like close to somebody who was on the 10 most wanted list or something. That's how bad he was. And remember, he's Cain, and Cain's I guess he killed his brother Abel in the Bible, and so he had this thing put on him. I don't know, it sounds weird to call it a hex, but like he would be alive forever. So he has really actually been on earth forever since he was born. And since he was born thousands of years ago, sorry. He hasn't been up in heaven, he hasn't been in hell. He has actually been on earth, being a bad person and killing, and he wanted to die in season 3, and he did everything he could, and then because he met the detective, he got really happy and he changed his mind. He didn't want to die, but then it ended up Lucifer killed him. I think he was glad to die after all, even though he had changed his mind and whatever. But everybody changed, but it all went for the best, and turned out, and but it still was a wounding of people. Everybody had been wounded in some way, and it's not like everything's just hunky-dory and perfect. It was like a learning situation. Everybody learned something, and it was meaningful, and so that I just really liked it a lot. So the peach pie, I guess, is just my final food that I like, that gives it.
It's Eve.
No, it is not Eve.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not, and that gives it a good review because, I'll watch things and I might like them, but they're not very complete. They're not very full. There's something weird about them, or negative, or like I watched a Hallmark movie yesterday, and it was okay, but it was just very light. Like Bud Light, it was light.
You've had Bud Light before?
A million years ago.
Uh-oh.
I don't drink alcohol, so anyway.
So you're kind of being a little hypocritical with the whole seasons thing, shorter seasons, because we've talked a lot on this channel.
I know.
About how we don't like how TV shows are rushed to end which is a current trend nowadays.
Yeah, I know.
TV shows are given a handful of episodes and then they end after 4 measly seasons.
Well, the thing is, I just appreciated them picking up the series at all. And if that's all they were going to give them, I mean, but they were willing to give it to them no matter what. That to me, that was okay. You know, it's not like they were new; they've been around for a few years, and I just appreciated it. I just want to show people for their and the writers. They did an excellent job. They made the most out of every minute they were given, which is a good thing. So instead of complaining that it was not very many shows, I want to say I appreciated the effort.
You can appreciate it, but you can still also say, hey, as a big Lucifer fan, I wish that there was as many episodes as before, and I wish that it wouldn't end so soon.
Well, since they gave him this last season, season 5, it is in a way giving him, it's like part 1 and part 2. Because like I said, they ended this season 4 with a happening, I won't say what, that could easily have been the end of the series. Because maybe they just didn't know that, well, they didn't probably, that it was going to be the end. They thought, well, maybe this is the end. And so, but also there'd be a little bit of doubt whether, it could still continue. So you could probably say this could be, if you add season 4 and season 5 together, that would be one whole used to be regular season of Lucifer.
You could say that. That's a good explanation.
And then because obviously because they said this will be the end, then whatever happens, which I have no idea, I can't even imagine what they're going to do with him, especially. The rest of them, anything can happen. It's any day, any time. But with him, it's going to be something. I have no idea what they're going to do. But now they really get to think about it. And I just wonder, though, even though they say this is going to be their last season, and it probably will be, they'll leave it to where maybe someday somebody else can pick it up, or they'll just reboot the show. I mean, they rebooted some of these other shows, like Roseanne, for example, or not Netflix, but, other shows have been rebooted that were on years ago. So you never know, but so, and also this is a show that weird things happen and they're not, like I said, Eve coming down from heaven is weird to me. I just don't get it. But it's okay because it's like weird things happen. They're not always perfectly explainable. So, if something happens with Lucifer and it's weird, then, that's because it's Lucifer and not everything's perfectly explainable. So, okay?
So you want to explain what's happening this week?
Well,
first off,
I'll let Marco explain because I'm
going to be reviewing Murder Mystery on Netflix, which
isn't that with Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. It's called Murder Mystery, and I'm only reviewing it because the Ted Bundy movie review was kind of popular in terms of our channel, and so I'll review another Netflix movie, see what happens, and then on Friday, Safi's gonna see Toy Story 4, and I'm gonna see Child's Play, and we're gonna review those because it seems like it seems like I don't really want to see Toy Story 4, and Safi doesn't really want to see Child's Play. She's not that interested in Child's Play.
I'm not that interested in Toy Story.
I don't think anyone is though, but
if I had a little child, I have a granddaughter, if I had her with me, Maybe, but I don't even know if she
if you have like
can sit through a movie.
a 6-year-old,
Yeah.
you go take them. Yeah, I wouldn't go take anyone to see the new Toy Story, but maybe when Safi sees it, she'll be surprised and she'll say, "Oh my God, Marco, you gotta see this. It's better than all the other Toy Stories, even though
I can't imagine that.
it's telling the exact same story as all the other Toy Stories." So that's what's happening this week. And also Cobra Kai Season 2, the full review. What happened was last week we got our internet taken away because of some sort of a power line issue. And and it's funny because it got taken away right in the middle of when I was doing my review. I was planning on using the computer to read messages that I sent to myself with the full spoilers discussion that I had, but I couldn't because we didn't have any internet. So I did like 2 short videos that are a part of the review, and I gotta shoot the last one too. So that's all coming this week on Safi and Marco.
Dish on the Movies.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.